Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is Friday the 15th of July and tomorrow I've got the Noret trophy race run by Plonkeaway. So today I went out for a ride in a couple of hours. My friend Josh from Guernsey is currently over here and he's staying for a few weeks, so hopefully he can do some racing too. So we went out for a little race prep ride this morning. And we're back this afternoon just chilling out ahead of tomorrow's race. So I'm just about to clean my bike and get it all good for tomorrow. So I cleaned my bike and now I am cooking tonight's meal for me and Josh, which is spag bowl. But I have had a bit of a disaster. I've forgotten the tomato puree and herbs. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Not gonna be the same as what it is in Guernsey, but no doubt it'll be good. And Josh tonight is gonna be my person to rate it out of 10, so I'll have to get a review from Josh. So it's now the day of the race. Just having some breakfast. So here I've got some porridge, banana and raisins, and then normally on race days I have a bit of a morale boost and I have a croissant and a pain au chocolat. So I'll have this now and then I'll have my pre-race meal in a few hours, just showing you what I normally eat. So I'm just packing my kit and getting it ready, and I thought I'd show you sort of what my fueling strategy for today is. So I used the SIS Beta Fuel, which is really good. I find putting a whole thing in one bottle is a bit too gloopy, so I normally put it in two 500ml bottles. And because the race today is just under 125 kilometers, I'm going to start by having a bar, so I don't eat gels all day. And then obviously as the race gets harder and more goes on, I'm going to just stick to the gels. I think they've got about 22 grams of carbs and the bars are 26. And then yeah, it's a hot day today. I think they're saying it's going to be 29 degrees. So drinking is going to be important, but hopefully the team will be out there to help me give me bottles. So I'll probably end up going through quite a few, but my first few bottles will have the Beta Fuel in it.
Baptiste, le comptable de ce comité d'organisation.
Allez les gars, allez,
allez. Pourquoi t'as commencé à 12?
Oui, c'est
une bonne
question. Joker.
Qui vient d'être donné pour 5 km de départ fictif.
Hey everyone, so it's now the day after the race, the Noret Trophy. It was a really hard race and a really hot race. I ended up going through about 6 bottles in 3 hours, and I still felt like at the end that I was cramping, or felt like I was going to cramp. So yeah, pretty much it was lots of because it was my first 1, 2, 3 race, it was lots of the bigger teams controlling it and deciding who was going into the breakaway and who wasn't. Whereas in the past, because there wasn't enough numbers of riders and races I've done, it's never really happened. So at points it was flat out for a long time. especially there was between 50 and 100 kilometers. There was probably about 6 different hills, and it was hard up the hills, and then it would split on the hills, and then teams would then pace it between the hills, so it made that really hard. My legs didn't really feel that great. I'd had an uneven week of training. After my win last week, I think I just worked a bit too much, and I had a slight cold, so the training I wanted to get, I didn't really do. So I didn't really know what to expect of my body and my legs before yesterday. But considering how I was feeling a few days before, I'm happy with what I did. And it was a lot learned, because it was just such a big step up, I would say. So yeah, overall I came second junior, and I was 27th. And then all the people in front of me were category 1 and 2. There were no category 3 in front of me, so it sort of sums up. But by the end, when we got into the finishing circuit, there was sort of 3 or 4 groups ahead. And again, that's something, as I've said in past videos, it's hard to know what groups are up the road. So now it's Sunday, and in terms of racing, me and Josh are going to try and do a race. Josh is going to try and get into his first race in a town sort of 15-20 minutes away, so a nice local one, category 3 plus junior. Again, today is really hot. I think it's 35 degrees is what it's going to get up to, so it's going to be a very interesting race. Obviously today I don't think I will have as much support from the team. So in terms of, and the race today is 100 kilometers. So in terms of fueling and keeping hydrated, we don't really know what we're going to do at the moment. I've done all my bottles and I've put them in the fridge. And currently I've put a jersey in the freezer as a sort of an ice vest. I've never tried this before, but I thought I'd give it a try and see if that helps me keep my core body temperature low. But yeah, so that's going to be the biggest factor, I think, in today's race. But we're both really looking forward to it. Obviously, my legs are a bit tired today, and it's hopefully if Josh gets in his first race over here, so it's sort of showing him how it all works and what the racing's like. So I will keep you up to date. So it's now the day after the race. It's Monday. And yeah, it was, as I expected, a very hot race. Me and Josh, and I think everyone really suffered in the heat. And I think it's the hottest I've ever raced in. I think it was about 36, 37 degrees. Yeah, and my ice vest did not work at all. I took it out the freezer and then got to the race, put it on, keep me cool for about 2 minutes, and then yeah, it was just rubbish. But something I think did help actually is I got ice cubes and I put them in some plastic bags, small sort of sandwich bags, and I put them down my jersey. So that kept me cool for the first sort of 45 minutes until they melted. But it helped a bit. It was all sort of marginal gains. And then also there was someone from the team there who was able to hand us out bottles. So really, yeah, without them being there, helping Josh out as well, me and Josh would have been completely screwed. So yeah, I'd just like to say big thanks again to the team for the whole weekend, really, both Saturday and Sunday, for helping me out and also helping Josh out, who, you know, is not part of it, but were more than willing to give him a few bottles. So yeah, it was just big thanks for all the support and help from them. So then in terms of how the layout of the race was, a break went early on, and they normally do in these sort of races, but they normally get brought back towards the end. This actually didn't happen in this race, so this was a first for me. I was probably tactically relying too much on it coming back, and it never did. And so in the end, they ended up winning the race this break. I think it might have been because the heat, everyone was just suffering, and no one was really willing to take big pulls to bring them back. So yeah, sort of about an hour and a half in, I realised that the brake wasn't coming back and I had to start doing things. So I attacked a few times towards the end, and then with 2 laps to go up the climb, I attacked and I ended up going solo to the finish. And I came in, I think, 13th overall, and I was the first rider behind the winning group. So yeah, the legs felt really good, surprisingly, after Saturday's long race as well. Just yeah, tactically again let me down. Sadly for Josh, he cramped with 3 laps to go up the climb, and he sat in with the main peloton pretty much for the rest of the race after that. And yeah, once you cramp, it's hard to recover, but I think he really enjoyed it, and it was a good sort of first race for him. So yeah, it sort of mixed emotions with the result overall. I'm happy with how the legs are feeling, especially after, say, Saturday's race, but I just need to be a bit more aware at the start of races to keep an eye on what's going on. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy. It was a busy weekend for me, racing wise. And yeah, I've got some exciting things coming on in the next week for me and Josh over here. So I'm sure I'll let you know about that all happening when it gets to it. So this will probably be the end of this video. So I'd just like to say thanks to everyone again for the support on the channel. If you give a thumbs up and subscribe, that would be really appreciated. And I will see you in the next one.